The event that I have drawn on for this assignment is the Cronulla riots. This day in December 2005 saw the gathering of nearly 5,000 people, most of Anglo-Celtic background, some locals and some from other Sydney beachsides such as Maroubra and Brighton, in order to reclaim the beach after two Middle Eastern youths attacked Cronulla lifesavers earlier in the week. The alerting of the gathering was sent via mobile text to people all around Sydney, inviting them to join in the fight for Australians' right to protect their beaches. Due to a combination of alcohol and mob mentality, violence broke out and many ethnic individuals were attacked and assaulted. On the day, there were many signs and T-shirts that read discriminatory sayings such as "Love it or leave it," "Wog-free zone," and "We grew here, you flew here."
The ABC News reported that earlier in the day the atmosphere had been party-like despite the large crowd. That changed when a man of Middle Eastern appearance was chased into a hotel bistro. Within a very short time the hotel was surrounded by several thousand people chanting and screaming. About half-hour later a large fight broke out across the road and police were required to calm the mob of people down. The following night saw incidents of retaliation by Middle Eastern people of violence and vandalism throughout Sydney. The Cronulla riot sparked issues of cultural difference and what is perceived to be an Australian. At Cronulla, many wrapped themselves with the Australian flag, expressing the idea that being an Australian meant you were of Anglo descent. Edward Sayed said, "How is it we come to know Australia? Who determines what the definitions of Australia are?"
Australian identity is an issue that confronts many Australians. What it means to be Australian for one person may be completely different for another person. With being Australian, there are certain signifiers that we tend to relate to, such as the notion of mateness, fabulous beaches, sporting icons and laid-back attitude. It is inaccurate to suggest that these signifiers of Australians are not important, but they don't outline the full story of being Australian. In order to capture a sense of Australian identities, we need to consider a non-essentialist position. This means that we can guarantee no essential quality or characteristic as being Australian. Diana Fuss describes essentialism as a belief in the so-called real or true essence of things. Australia is a point of destination for various diasporic peoples, and the identities or subjectivities of this can only be described according to this multiplicity.
So to take this event into the classroom as a teaching experience, I'm going to use grade 4s. First I would describe the event and just encourage initial reactions from the students. Of the many books available, I would choose one story to enhance the students' understanding of racism. Then I would ask the children to relate to their own lives, and I would have the children discuss what privileges we have in our own classroom, such as being the leaders in line, extra computer time and homework classes. After this discussion, I would divide the class into two groups. One group will then be given a yellow star to wear. The group of children with the stars will be granted the classroom privileges for a week. I would then swap the groups over and allow the other children to wear the stars and be granted the privileges. Then in small groups, I would have the children reflect on this experience and encourage them to answer questions such as, how did you feel when you wore the star? When you were without a star, how did you feel about your classmates with stars? What feelings did you experience during this class activity? And what lessons did you feel you learnt from this activity? And I have the students list some things that they could do to make sure everyone feels like they are accepted. The small groups can then share their thoughts and reflections with the whole class.
Building on the small group discussions, the class would then be involved in brainstorming and putting together a list of suggestions for ending discrimination in the classroom. I would encourage the children to think how they could be a part of providing a classroom where there would be no unfair treatment of a person or even a group. Then I would challenge the children to put their list into practice. Firstly, the children would be encouraged to choose a team buddy, someone that is outside their usual circle of friends. The teens keep a journal for several days and record ways that they or others help end discrimination. I would allow time each day for the teens to share their experiences and discuss their journal entries. After several days, the whole class will meet and share and reflect on the journal entries. Students will then be encouraged to set goals for extending this activity into their homes and communities. These activities will help students experience discrimination and help them develop a sense of fairness and equity. By setting these activities the students can personally participate in will help reinforce the message and challenge their own thinking on discrimination and help them to develop into the person they would like to be. I hope it will help students become empowered by taking responsibility for their own environment, including their school, home and community. I hope it will give them a positive sense of achievement and what it feels like to experience both sides of discrimination. I finally hope it guides the children in making positive choices relating to treatment of all others.